Hello, everybody. Donald Henderson here again. Got a little thing in my throat, so if I cough a little bit, bear with me. I swallowed something wrong. Anyhow, this video is about leadership, not our leadership, but people we follow, mentors, teachers, big brothers, big sisters, professors in colleges, things like that. People that we look towards to guide us, to teach us. And the reason why we have that is if we didn't have that pattern in our biology, we would be starting our culture all over again. We wouldn't get very far. We wouldn't learn how to do art, things like that. We'd have to figure it out on our own. Unlike other animals, we don't have things that are built in. Dogs, cats, lions, they have something that's already built into them, and they learn some things, but most of that stuff just comes from their genes. Us, we're pretty much a blank slate. So this isn't really about necessarily what specific things you need to learn. What I want to emphasize here is when you find somebody who's a mentor, a guide, a teacher, an older friend that's been around. If you go fishing, you want to hang out with the old guys because they know all the tricks. You may know all the new technology, but they know all the tricks, like where the fish are in the lake, kind of a thing. So what kind of things do we want to look at and look for? Because, one of the things that's interesting that in my life, learning from people who are more successful than myself, is I watch them. Some things may be like a red herring. They set me off to the side. It's like, this isn't necessarily really something to help me, but it's just their personality trait. But I have a whole list of here, and I'm going to go over things you should look for and watch them and ask questions, because they have learned, they have gone down the path. They are more successful than you are, and you're trying to learn to be like them. My number one thing that always pops out in my mind is people that are successful don't waste time. Hold on, I'm trying to move my list down here so I don't forget anything. They don't waste time. And what I mean by that is that they delegate things that they shouldn't be doing. They hire people, they hire companies, cleaning companies, whatever, to do certain things so that they have the time to do what they are best at. Okay, cutting the grass, washing the car, doing the dishes. People that are successful don't do that. They may do it once in a while, but they're not doing it every day. So here's another thing. So they don't waste time. Another thing is they make decisions quickly. And I'm not saying just flippantly, just like, I'm going to take A instead of B this time. They know what they want. Okay, if you go out with a successful person in a restaurant, even, I was going to say with the exception of, not Olive Garden, what is it called? Cheesecake Factory. If you've ever been to one of those, their menus are about as big as a phone book. I mean, they got any kind of food you'd ever want. But a successful person, if you're going to have dinner with them or go to a coffee place with them, they know exactly what they want. They go, blah, 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 I want that. And if they don't have that, they'll have a plan B in their head somewhere. So they don't waste time. They know what they want, they get it, they move on. So they don't waste time, and they know what they want. Also, they're good at setting and pursuing their goals, their clear goals. They're very succinct. If they're going to get something, they quickly see what it is, set out to do it. It may not be a goal like, I want to get so much done within a week or whatever. They go, I want to go over there and get that done. It may take longer than they expect or less time. But they set them, they go after them, and they stick with it unless something, terrible comes up, and they adapt quickly. They embrace lifelong learning, and what I mean by that is that they're always curious. They want to know how things work. They want to challenge themselves. I remember when I was in college, I remember seeing some of these older people that are probably what my age is now, that they were attending classes, and I thought, how cool is that to keep learning? My major was pre-med, then it became clinical psychology, and I thought to myself, when I get older, I'm going to take like an art class and maybe take an engineering class, things that I don't have any interest in right now, but something that exercises my brain. So they're always learning, they're always reading. And if something goes right and something goes wrong, they will take responsibility. They're the ones that are less likely to try to blame someone else for what happened. They don't make excuses. They say they're sorry and they move on. They're persistent. In other words, they don't go after the shiny object syndrome. It's like, oh, I'm going to try that now. It's like they're on a course, like a ship. They're on a course, and they're going to stay with that course until they get to their destination. They practice discipline and consistency. What does that mean? Well, they probably get up the same time every day. They have a pattern, whether it's exercising or eating or whatever, they go by it. And if you watch them with a clock every day, they probably do the same thing every day. So they're disciplined about it. They don't get up, have a cup of coffee, and watch TV for 3 hours. They're consistent. So if you talk to them and you know that they're doing something today, you know that what they're doing tomorrow is going to be the same thing. They avoid distractions. They don't go off on something else and it's like, well, I thought you were going to do this assignment today. Oh, no, I'll do it next week, or do it tomorrow. No, they're going to get it done. What else we got here? They're relationship builders, okay? Now, I don't care whether they're introvert or extrovert, they are aware that they need people, other people, to get things done. People are great resources. They can work for you, or you can work for them, or they can introduce you to other people, or they can introduce you to other mentors. Having a network is a wonderful thing because people are the ones that open the doors for you. There's been times when I was just checking out a particular job one time, and I was offered the job on the spot. I didn't really want it at the time. I just thought I'm really interested in it. I was wondering if there's a way I could try it out, and they say, well, how would you like to do it? I got a job on the spot. People open those doors, okay? They maintain a positive attitude. I remember whether it was a boot camp I went to, a real estate boot camp, or something else. Some of my friends that were in management, they always seemed to find the bright side. Whether it's your personal life or work life, they would say, you can do this. I have faith in you. You can get it done. They have a positive attitude as well. It's like, let's work together and get this done. Let's knock this out tonight. Not everybody has that. But when you're hanging around people that are more successful than you'll start seeing these traits. And it's not an accident that this has anything to do with their success. It has everything to do with their success. They take calculated risks. They understand enough about the situation to where they know that if they push the envelope somewhat, to a certain degree, they're most likely going to be successful. And they also know from experience that if you push it past a certain limit, that it's going to fail. They manage their health and well-being. Sorry about that. It's not like the old movies from the 30s and 40s where the rich guy, he wears a suit and he's smoking a cigar and drinking scotch and, he's making these big business decisions. Yeah, maybe they do that once in a while, have a big stogie and hang out. But they don't do it constantly because they know that they have to be in tip-top shape to do what they need to do. They need to perform. They need to be like a race car. They need to have everything well oiled, tuned up, the whole bit. And that includes your physical health as well. They're not going to be eating crap. Giving back and practicing gratitude. Okay, that's a big thing. one thing I noticed about people I've looked up to that I follow were mentors, guides, teachers, whatever. They would give a shirt off their back for you. You know, it's like, hey man, you know, I forgot my lunch money or whatever. You know, I said, oh, not a problem. I'm going out to so and so. Let's go. Come with me, and I'll buy you lunch. They don't even think about it. They are very generous, giving back type of people, and they will thank you. You know, so, you know, if you're working with them or for them, and you help them out, they will be the first ones that thank you. So anyhow, when you are with your mentor, your coach, your teacher, keep your eyes peeled, because there are certain characteristics that may not be personality traits per se, because everybody's a little different, but there are certain rhyming, harmonizing activities that they have that go hand in hand with being successful. And everybody does a little bit differently, but the one thing I've noticed about, like I said at the beginning, one of the things I noticed from the get-go is the time thing. You go to lunch or dinner with them, and they don't even open the menu sometimes. They just say, I want that, because they know what they like. They probably thought about what they're going to eat before they ever got to the restaurant. They make quick decisions. They stick to the decision, and then they move on. Anyhow, it's just a quickie. I just wanted to share that because from the last video, it kind of spurred that off. Like, what are some positive things you should look for? And we all need teachers and mentors and coaches, because they keep us from having to reinvent the wheel. How long would you have to live to get to where you are today if you didn't have teachers, coaches, mentors, things like that? Anyhow, Donald Henderson here. Please subscribe if you want to see some more videos when I release them. And have a good day. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.